Christina, and we're the Gorgeous Geeks. And we're coming at you now. Each week we're going to review an episode of Smallville.
Yay!
It's been requested, and it's the last season. And, you know, we got to, even though we do rag on it quite a bit, this is a show that we enjoy.
She rags on it more so than I do.
Oh, you ragging with me! Oh my gosh, you tried to call it truth. I'm like, we're not gonna trash the show while we watch it. We'll just ruin it. And then you couldn't shut your mouth.
Okay, in this episode, you know, Chloe wrote the letter to Oliver and everything, and she said that, you know, he was the love of her life.
It was so beautiful.
But the thing about it was, I couldn't help but think about how, if this was real life, and if Jimmy was in heaven, and he looked down at that moment, and he would say, "What the crap, Chloe?" All I could think about was
I thought
poor
you were going to say, "You whore."
all I could think about was poor Jimmy. Like, he was, that's why I never ever wanted Jimmy and Chloe to get married, because I never thought she truly, you know, she told him, like, "You were the love of my life, and no one
I'm
will ever
over
care,"
Clark.
and blah blah blah. But he was right. He was like, "You didn't love me as much as you love Clark." You know, and then this whole Davis thing, and then she just, and then she told Oliver, you know, "I've never loved someone like you," and all I could think about was poor Jimmy.
Deadshot. He said it so well in this episode, I guess, and as soon as he said it, I'm like, oh, that's Chloe. He was talking to the cat Grant. Said that you think the people you love is gonna miss you when you're gone, when the truth is you're just gonna find somebody else. I'm like, oh, I guess that's Chloe.
Yeah, I couldn't help but think about that. It was just poor.
You know, if Clark died, she'd find a new best friend.
It's not
if
like
Oliver died, she'd find a new booty call until they were the love of her life. You know, it's just like
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm like, I really did like Chloe before, but I'm just thinking about poor Jimmy. He died for this woman.
I think this...
And I know what you guys think, you know, it's easy.
This like happened sometime around season 8, probably.
Well, you know, yeah. The thing about it is that, I know some of you guys think we're really harsh on Chloe, and, you know, she fell in love with Oliver. Her and Oliver haven't been together that long. They really haven't. You know, I know, well, you guys probably think, oh, well, the time's different on the show and everything. She still wasn't, you know... they still weren't together that long. And
they said it was 5 months.
Yeah, it's just, you know, even though they were friends, they knew each other and everything, but still, I mean, come on.
Especially, you know, since
poor Jimmy.
If she had the opportunity and there was no Lois in the picture, her world would just be so absolutely on fire if she was with Clark. And Oliver would prefer to be with Lois. So it's like this is the loser couple who got left over with each other. And then at the same time, we know that he's meant to be with Black Canary. So I always didn't like the Clawley thing because I always thought it was pointless.
Yeah, because you knew that they were eventually doomed to fail.
And even
you know who he ends up with.
They took this time to set this up, but and this is the last season, and she's not even in that many episodes, so it's all gonna crumble apart pretty fast. And even if it doesn't, like on screen, you still know off screen they're not gonna have a happily ever after together, or at least they shouldn't, or because that would be really messed up.
And I wanted Chloe to have her own life, and I wanted
we've always said you don't necessarily have to kill Chloe. Just
give
want
her own life. Quit giving her these relationships that are doomed to fail. I feel bad for
when
Chloe.
She had that moment when she was having the hacking wars. I'm like, oh, they should just like meet and get together.
Right,
like they took his character.
Give her someone, like but the whole Oliver thing is like, this is another doomed relationship. Every single relationship she's liked is just doomed to fail. I just wanted her to be with somebody,
with someone that
she can have a relationship with.
Yeah.
You know, so you know that's my thing. Just give her own thing. But you know, so then. And so they did this, and I thought it was interesting how Clark just switched and like, well, Chloe knows what she's doing. Usually Clark is the one who panics when it comes to his friend. So I thought that was kind of interesting. to do that. The look on Clark's face.
Well, I guess they figure he's got to get to other more important storylines. So
yeah.
Oliver, I guess they don't know what to write. So
there's a lot of things you could do, but
it's obvious that they're not taking the time for Clark to worry about Chloe. It's not. I don't think it's because he's so matured as a person to trust her or whatever. I think it's just the writers like Clark needs to go through this arc. And we're taking Oliver through this arc. Well, at least for that episode. I don't know what they're going to do with Oliver the rest of the season. We'll see.
I love how Clark's reaction was with Kat. That had to have been one of the most annoying people I've ever seen on a TV show. And it showed in his face as well.
Look, let me say this, though. I don't know what Smallville's interpretation or who of Cat Grant really is. If that... Because Cat Grant is a real character in the comic books. I don't know if it's supposed to be that lady who is Cat Grant who ended up being the TV show host, or if this annoying chick who shows up is supposed to be the TV host, but neither of them is actually like Cat Grant. And Smallville usually takes a lot of liberties with characters, and you know, it's alright. But I have to say, I think it would have been like 1,000 times more interesting if they would have stayed true to Cat Grant's character. If you've seen her on the first season of Lois and Clark, she's just so hilarious.
She's funny. She's, you know, she's like...
She's a total slut, but it's so... It's so fun. I'm like, man,
you a comical slut. I know
like
it doesn't sound right.
It doesn't sound right.
Trust me.
But
they said that she wasn't really Cat Grant, and that her name was Mary Louise.
I mean, but they still had that other girl who was Cat Grant, and I was wondering, I'm like, how are they gonna explain these two not being, you know, related into one, or say that this is the Cat Grant? She's like, no relation. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of a cop out. But then they said that she wasn't really her. So I'm like, why did they even bother to introduce her like that?
So I understood what they did, and the annoying little girl type thing. It is funny.
It is funny. Why not call her just a random name? Why refer to her as Cat Grant, or even that girl who ended up running that, you know, who's on that TV show? Why have her be Cat Grant? Why not? I mean, you have a bunch of liberties. You can make up all these characters. Chloe is an original character. I mean, Smallville's made up a bunch of original characters. If they didn't, they wouldn't have season 1, 2, and 3, and 4 are, most of them are just original villains from week to week. So I don't understand why, if you're gonna have someone so off the mark, why not make it a whole entire new character?
It would have been better to have like the actual Cat Grant character in the show, but I understand what they're doing, and I think it's I thought it was funny.
She would have had wonderful tension with Lois. Wonderful tension. That would have been great. I mean, she wouldn't have misrupted the Clois action at all if anybody's worried about that. But it just would have been a really interesting and funny and great interaction that I think Smallville kind of missed out on.
What did you think of the fire sequence when the car was flipped upside down in the fire? I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was really cool. I really, really loved that. And I love seeing Daniel Jackson in the desert. Perfect. I love seeing it. I was just thinking about Stargate the whole entire time.
It's like he said, I can't let Smallville take over Stargate's longest record. I have to be a part of this. Sign me up as a character. I must be part of history again.
Yeah, Stargate was the longest running in Smallville. And
Smallville is going to surpass it.
Going to be, so I thought it was so funny. But I know that, you know, Carter Hall and the whole, you know, ancient Egyptian type thing. I know about that in the desert and everything. But I was still thinking about Stargate the whole entire time.
No, I gotta say this. There's like a complaint that I have that Smallville's like overdoing something and maybe going backwards. But in the same way, well, in a different way, I feel like they're moving forward. The backwards way, or maybe it's just same old, I don't know. This repetitive, cheesy Destiny dialogue that's like being shoved down our throats, not in a very subtle way. I understand it's a Superman show, but you don't read a Superman comic book and it's like that exactly. It's just a little too much now, at least for me.
It doesn't bother me.
It's starting to kind of irk me.
It doesn't bother me.
But I know that Ice is supposed to be in upcoming episode. Actually, Lois, Erica Durance's character, Lois is apparently supposed to be possessed by the spirit of Isis. and the radio disc jockey is supposed to be, I think, in the next episode, and he plays a bigger role. So Smallville usually just throws in these characters for like a one story, but they actually led up to these events by putting them, because they mentioned ISIS in this episode, and there was a necklace or something. So they're more leading into stories, which is them maturing, because they've
done it before with like the witch thing with Lana.
That was like a big long arc, though.
Yeah.
That was a huge, pointless arc.
It was odd, but it wasn't far from the DC universe, though.
Why did it have to be Lana? It's like,
because that's just how they roll.
No, they just they're like, oh, people love Lana. What are we gonna write about Lana? Let's just make up some crap.
Let's not go back. So
okay,
we'll be here all day talking
we will
about
be all
that.
here.
We're here to talk about today's episode.
Okay. The Superman suit that wasn't really a Superman suit. I think that jacket's just a little too cool for Clark, honestly.
I thought he looked hot in the jacket. Matter of fact, I want that jacket, but like a cut-off, shorter one with the long sleeves. And maybe
the jacket's cool and everything. You said, man, he does not want to wear that suit, does he?
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, I guess he doesn't want to wear those tights.
When he had that letter in his hand, I'm like, is he? Like, I figured he wasn't about to fly, but I'm like, Smallville, you're supposed to tease.
I don't know how, because it's like he took Mary Louise or Kat's advice, you know, coming out in the daytime and stuff. So, I'm curious how he's going to do it, because I know he's not going to get in front of a camera and say I'm Superman.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows what Clark Kent looks like. So
yeah.
I'm so interested.
Yeah,
to
Smallville's
see how
always shot themselves in the foot with this whole no identity thing.
Yeah, so it's gonna be
I don't know what they're gonna do about that whole situation. We'll see.
I wonder if Lois is going to, you know, she was like Superman, like kind of like maybe that's what we should start calling him. And so I'm curious if because you know Lois Lane is the one who introduces Superman to the world. So I'm curious, you know, if she is going to go back and say, hey, let's call the Blur Superman, but I don't know if they're going to do that anytime soon. I don't think they will. Maybe at the end, she's like, Superman.
I know a lot of people want to see Superman suit sooner, him in the suit and all that, but I don't know. I hope they don't, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be like the last shot of the series.
Didn't you think Shaira was absolutely beautiful?
I guess.
She was gorgeous. I was like, oh, she's so pretty. He's like, oh, I want them to be together. But
I was worried for a second that they were gonna say that
Lois was Shaira.
Yeah.
No, he was drunk.
I know he was drunk.
They drank like a whole thing of.
Hey, Lana was the possessed witch.
Oh, they wouldn't have made her Shaira. That'd just be totally weird. Then next thing you know, they were made. No, this is the actual Lois Lane. This was actual Shaira.
It was Chloe the whole time.
No, I didn't think that they were gonna make her Shaira. I just.
I was worried for a second.
No, I didn't think that. I was like, oh, he's drunk. And
I'm like, what are they trying to say?
He explained
I know about her being possessed by ISIS and all that stuff, so I knew there was a future connection there.
Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta mention this. Because what about Tess as Clark's new sidekick on the computer? Why can't Clark learn to work the computer himself?
I don't know.
But he needs somebody with him. I guess that's why Lois needs to come back and, you know, be there. Because apparently Chloe isn't going to be there to give, you know, Clark the GPS coordinates of someone somewhere.
That he ends up just listening to and finding on his own anyway.
And I'm curious how long it's going to take for Clark to find out that Lois knows. I remember in the Lois and Clark Adventures, they took the whole season. She didn't know. They said,
I don't know. I saw some interviews with her. She said Lois can't keep a secret for that long. So, I don't think they're gonna have us wait very long.
Okay.
I heard in episode 200, there's gonna be a Lois moment that's supposed to have us gasp, so leave us breathless. So, we'll see.
We shall see. Well, anyways, tell us what you think. Tell me if you agree with Katrina or Christina on the comments. Anyways, we're still together forever, sisters.
No, we're not.
I'm Katrina.
I'm Christina.
And we're the Gorgeous Geeks.